Hey, Thabreakmasta here, and it's going to be my Naruto SD Rock Lee Springtime Youth episode 12 review. Really good episode. Another lesson here today, and is to not abuse your ninjutsu powers, basically. Because, you know, in this episode, they be using their power for just random retarded things, and it's just like, what the heck? And so, yeah. So as we see in the first episode, the first part of this episode, it's the first part how I do it. First part, and second part. But first part here, like I said, it's pretty funny. Naruto was using his Rasengan to cool off his ramen, which was like retarded. I don't get it. I don't understand how he did not destroy it, but hey, he did mini Rasengan and it cooled off his ramen so he could eat it. And I'm like, what the heck? And so Kakashi was like, I saw this, and he's like, this is stupid. Why are you using their jutsu for this? And so Guy was walking, was there too, and he overheard, and he's like, yeah, I feel the same way, because Rock Lee apparently he ended up had some stain on his leg that was on his clothes. He's like, oh my God, it's gonna stain my clothes, and so he ended up doing this like world kick thingy, and yeah, so that's basically what happens. He ends up putting all his food on his face, like a bunch of curry, because they're eating curry. That's what happened. They ate some curry, and Guy's face got a bunch of curry on it, and Kakashi kept saying, you know, clean your face. Clean your face. You got all this curry on your face. Clean your face. It's like Kakashi's kind of funny in this episode because he's just like, he understands what's going on. He's like, what's happening here? And so then they devised a plan to basically show them and teach them the ways of not using their ninjutsus for the wrong things. And so Guy had everything planned out, and all they wanted, basically, Kakashi had to get them riled up together, and so they can go. So he got everybody, and he's all telling them they're going to be doing some fishing trip because that's what they're going to be doing, some fishing. And so they ended up getting to the port. And they ended up meeting this guy. And it was Guy Sensei, of course. But apparently none of them knew that was Guy Sensei. So they were just like real dumb. All of them were dumb or something. I don't know. It's weird how they not know that was Guy Sensei. But yeah, he ended up having this little hat on, like this kind of hair. He had this fishing kind of, you know like Japanese fishermen are with the whole thing. And then he had that little underwear crap thing he'd be wearing, the medieval times. And basically, in order for them to not to use their ninjutsu, he ends up making this weird story because he told them not to use no ninjutsu on his boat. But they're like, why? I can use ninjutsu. So he ends up making this whole story about how his father was a fisherman and he ended up getting all his fish, and then his father ends up getting ill, and he ends up noticing that all the fish that he catches, everyone's eating like the squid and everything. Everyone's all happy about eating the squid and all this fish, and you know that food that he catches makes everyone happy. And so he's like, I'm gonna take over the business because he's supposed to take over the business, but now he is because he was a punk before. And so that's the whole story. And he just like they had nothing to do with them with the ninjutsu. So I was just like, but they like, yeah, we shouldn't use ninjutsu. You know, we should do this. And so they're trying to do it without ninjutsu, but they're eating the bait. I don't know how they're eating the bait. It wasn't like it's like fish and stuff, right? So like that's disgusting. But they're eating it, and then Konoha was like, "This is not that bad." I'm like, "What's wrong with them?" And so as that was all happening, they like forget this because they ate all the bait. They started using ninjutsu. Freaking Shikamaru was wasting his freaking ninjutsu, using shadow possession jutsu to get a fish and whatnot. I'm like, what the heck? And Naruto's doing his Rasengan to get everybody. Get all the fish out of the water because you know he's like a whirlwind and all the water comes out and a bunch of fishes are all pouring down and like yeah. And so it's just like this is stupid, and like you caught so many fishes and everything like that, and it's meaningless to be really using their ninjutsu for that. They're supposed to be learning this, but they weren't learning. So Kakashi's like, well, I guess it doesn't matter. But then a big fish came, a squid, or you can say the kraken or whatever it was. It was a big gigantic squid, and they're about to use their ninjutsu, but they couldn't use their ninjutsu because the boat was rocking way too much for them to concentrate on their ninjutsu. And so then Guy ends up coming. He's like, you don't need to use ninjutsu. I told you not to use ninjutsu on my boat. And so then he ends up coming there, punches the squid, and then ends up telling him, you don't need to be using ninjutsu for meaningless things, for trivial tasks that you can do without ninjutsu. Learn to use your jutsus for only big things. And so that was a life lesson. Everyone seemed to learn it. But, you know, it went back to the way how the first episode first started, where, you know, Naruto needed to cool off his ramen. It was too hot. And he was about to do it again with his ninjutsu, but then Rock Lee ends up coming. He's like, no, you don't need to do that. And he ends up having this big gigantic squid that they defeated. He's like, now you can use your ninjutsu for this because this is a big thing. And yeah, that's not what the whole purpose was. Not to use your ninjutsu for stupid stuff like this. They didn't learn necessarily. So that's how the first episode ends. So here comes the second part of my review. Yeah. Alright, the second part of this video and, you know, this episode here. And, again, the second part's always seemed funnier than the first, but this was pretty funny and had a really touching ending at the end. I don't know, I really liked it. Overall, really, really liked this episode. It was really, really good. Yeah, it's just, so basically, Rocket Lee was just walking by with no, it was all raining and everything, and he had no umbrella because it's raining, and he wanted to do this for training, you know, because guy was like, you gotta do this for training because it's raining, and it's, you know, show you your adversity and how strong you are, and blah blah blah. I don't know, I'm not exactly sure what the training was supposed to do for him besides him getting rained on, but he was walking by and everything. He ends up seeing Sakura, and Naruto walked by with an umbrella, and she ended up sharing an umbrella, sharing under his umbrella with Naruto. And Naruto just walks away with Sakura and stuff, and Naruto's all smiling and everything like that. He's like, yeah. So it's just like, and then Rocky looks at them and just like, what the heck, you know, it kind of sucks because now you can't go with an umbrella with her and everything with Sakura. And so he, you know, he's not supposed to break the training regimen. And he was like trying to think about this because he really wants to share under umbrella with Sakura. And so then Tenten's like, well, you know, we get to have umbrellas under us and whatnot. So you know, you should be able to have one if you just talk to a guy. You know, it should be no big deal. And so he's like, yeah, okay. He's not a heartless person, right? Like, yeah. And so he ends up trying to talk to Guy, and the guy punches him. I'm like, what the heck? And he's like, you know, if you're a normal ninja, I'll let you have an umbrella. But you're not a normal ninja. You can't use ninjutsu. So you need to have everything you do in your daily life as a training regiment. You don't need an umbrella. So you don't need it. And then he walks away and everything. And then Tenten and Neji are like, wow, okay. But then I expect that. You know, and I was like, wow, I was kind of surprised by that too. And then now, after that happened, Rock Lee's just all sad walking by. And like, he usually is hyper and stuff and happy. It's weird seeing him sad like that. And like I said, Tenten and Neji were kind of feeling bad about this, so they wanted to do something to help him. And so then basically they ended up making this an umbrella, a training regimen for holding an umbrella. So it gave him a 10-ton umbrella basically, and that thing's heavy. And so he's having a hard time just lifting that thing. He ends up dropping it on freaking Neji, and he's like, "Why me?" And it kept happening. It's every time he had the umbrella. But as he gradually trained with the umbrella, you see this little training regimen they do. He ends up actually being able to hold the umbrella without having a weird looking face or, you know, or struggling too hard with it or shaking. He actually holds it with one hand, does a good job with it. He's finally able to do it, and then he's like, "Thank you guys," and starts crying and everything like that. And you know, it was just nice that they actually did something to help him. It actually helped. It wasn't like no gag or anything, something stupid like that. He actually able to hold the umbrella. So then the next day happens, because it was still raining that day, but the next day happens, it's not raining. And it's like super sunny and stuff, and now all that rain's over. And people are like, wow, I can't believe it actually ends so quickly, you know, all this rain and everything. And it's just like, dang, you know, dang. And so, you know, he's just sitting there like with the umbrella, just looking at Sakura walk by with you know, because she's at the flower shop, and it's just like, just so sad to see him just standing like that. I'm like, come on, man, it's like sucks so much. And so then Tenten and Neji, and Tenten's like, they come by and they're like, hey, you know, can we share your umbrella and everything? And he's like, well, if you insist. And then this way it ended. It was really nice. They're all under the umbrella, walking away because it's all, you know, hot and everything. It was just a nice episode, nonetheless. And this episode's really good. So what are your thoughts on this episode of Rock Lee, Springtime of Youth? Like I said, I'm really enjoying the show. It's just it's these moments, you know. I just really like it. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. See, I can't stop smiling. So yeah, leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Like this review, subscribe to my channel for some more Naruto, SD, Rock Lee, Springtime of Youth reviews. So yeah, it's been the Thabreakmasta. Until then, break out.